Once upon a time, maybe 3,000 years ago, in a small cottage near a quiet village, there lived a poor widow and her only son, Jack. They were very poor and survived by selling milk from their only cow. The cow had always been faithful, giving just enough milk for them to buy bread and keep warm during cold nights. But one year, the cow suddenly stopped giving milk. Days passed with no change. The cupboards grew empty, and the widow became worried. At last, she said sadly, "Jack, we have no choice. You must take the cow to market and sell her. It is the only way we can get money." Jack loved the cow, but he understood. Early the next morning, he led her down the road toward town. On the way, he met a strange old man with bright, clever eyes. "Good morning, boy," said the man. "Where are you going with that cow?" "To market," Jack replied. "I must sell her." The old man smiled and pulled out 5 small beans from his pocket. They shimmered in the sunlight. "These are magic beans," he whispered. "Trade your cow for them, and you will see wonders." Jack hesitated. The beans looked ordinary, but something about the man's voice filled him with excitement. Without thinking too much, he agreed. When Jack returned home and showed the beans to his mother, she was furious. "You foolish boy," she cried. "We needed money, not beans." In anger, she threw them out the window into the garden. Jack went to bed, hungry and ashamed. The next morning, he woke to darkness filling his room. He ran to the window and gasped. A gigantic beanstalk had grown overnight. It stretched high into the sky, disappearing into the clouds. Filled with wonder, Jack rushed outside and began to climb. Up it climbed, higher than the tallest trees, higher than the church tower, higher than he had ever dreamed. At last, he reached the top and found himself in a strange land above the clouds. There stood a massive castle. Jack bravely knocked on the door. A large woman answered. She looked surprised to see a small boy. "Please," Jack said politely, "may I have something to eat? I am very hungry." The woman whispered, "My husband is a giant. He eats boys like you." But she saw that Jack looked kind and harmless. She quickly pulled him inside and hid him in a cupboard, giving him bread and milk. Soon the ground began to shake. Thud, thud, thud. The giant had returned. "Fee-fee-foo-foom. I smell the blood of a man. Roared." His wife tried to calm him, and soon he sat down to eat. After his meal, he brought out a great sack of gold coins and began counting them. Jack watched in amazement. When the giant fell asleep, snoring loudly, Jack crept out quietly, grabbed the sack of gold, and hurried down the beanstalk. His mother could hardly believe her eyes when she saw the treasure. With the gold, they bought food and clothes and lived comfortably. But as time passed, the gold slowly ran out. Jack decided to climb the beanstalk again. Once more, the giant's wife answered the door and hid him. After eating, the giant brought out a hen. "Lay," he commanded. The hen laid a golden egg. Jack's eyes widened with wonder. When the giant fell asleep, Jack carefully took the magical hen and ran. He climbed down safely, and now he and his mother had a steady supply of golden eggs. Still, Jack's curiosity remained. For the 3rd time, he climbed the beanstalk. This time, after dinner, the giant brought out a beautiful golden harp. The harp played sweet music all by itself, filling the castle with melody. Jack could not resist. When the giant fell asleep, he grabbed the harp, but the harp cried out, "Master, master!" The giant woke with a furious roar. "Thief!" he thundered. Jack ran as fast as he could. The giant chased him, shaking the castle with every step. Jack reached the beanstalk and began climbing down. The giant followed close behind. "Mother," Jack shouted when he neared the ground, "bring me an axe." His mother rushed outside with an axe in her hands. Jack jumped down and began chopping the beanstalk with all his strength. The giant was halfway down when the beanstalk cracked and began to fall. With a mighty crash, it collapsed to the ground. The giant fell and was never seen again. The beanstalk was gone. Jack and his mother were finally safe. With the magical hen and the golden harp, they never went hungry again. Jack had learned that bravery can change one's fortune, but also that courage must be balanced with wisdom. And from that day forward, they lived happily ever after. If you like this video, please subscribe and like it so we can make more videos like this.